We begin with the latest on the Syrian crisis. Turkey says intensive Russian airstrikes near Aleppo are pushing tens of thousands of refugees towards the Turkish border. The news comes following the temporary pause of peace talks in Geneva between the government and the opposition. The military campaign is now threatening to overshadow a humanitarian conference in London, where world leaders are trying to raise $9 billion in aid for Syrian refugees. Richard Bastic reports from London.
Syrian government troops advance on Aleppo, threatening a siege of rebel forces who currently hold Syria's second city. Russian airstrikes supporting the government troops on the ground. It was against that backdrop world leaders arrived for the Syrian aid conference in London. Here, China's Foreign Minister Wang Yi. In the wake of a breakdown in the Geneva peace talks, US Secretary of State John Kerry blamed Russian bombing for worsening the situation.
The situation on the ground is actually worse, not better. And the suffering in Syria grows. It's not diminishing. If people are reduced to eating grass and leaves and killing stray animals in order to survive on a day-to-day basis, that is something that should tear at the conscience of all civilized people, and we all have a responsibility to respond to it.
Turkey's Prime Minister said the military action was driving upwards of 70,000 refugees towards the Turkish border.
60 to 70,000 people in the camps in North Aleppo are moving towards Turkey. My mind is not now in London, but in our border, how to relocate these new people coming from Syria.
The aid conference in London comes a matter of hours after the breakup of peace talks in Geneva. The German Chancellor calling on Syrian President Bashar al-Assad to stop military action.
We need to make sure the postponement of talks leads to an improved humanitarian situation in Syria, to include a ceasefire. People expect it, and we call on everybody to promote the political process, especially the Assad regime.
Against a gloomy backdrop of intensifying conflict, in cash terms, the conference has been a success. UK Prime Minister David Cameron said that world governments had pledged more than $10 billion, money for food, for education and the creation of jobs, but far removed from a political agreement and an end to the violence. Richard Bestick, CCTV, at the Syria Aid Conference, London.